Aho, this is the Moccasin Telegraph in South Central Ohio, the land of the singing Coyote Indian Center. My name is Chica da Buna, Wastay with Chacha. I'd like to tell you a little story today about the first man and first woman that was on this Moccasin many thousands of years ago. They were the only two here, and they were in their lodge one day, and the woman says, "All you do, you never do any work for me. All you want to do is sit around and eat." And he said, "You never do any work for me. You won't work in the garden. You won't do anything. You won't tan the hides." So they started arguing. They had never argued before. So all of a sudden she gets mad. She runs outside the lodge. And she goes to the clearing. And he's sitting in there pouting. He said, "Well, I ain't going after her." So she don't come back. It gets later in the day and she still hasn't came back. Darkness comes and he begins to get worried. Where did she go? So all that night he worried about where she was at, but she never came back. So the next morning he goes to the edge of the circle where the lodge sits, and he sees her small footprints going through the grass. So he follows them for about 3 or 4 hours, and he finds her laying by a log asleep. And he wakes her up, he apologizes. And as he was walking to find her, he noticed these little white flowers growing up in her footprints. So on the way back, as they were coming back, they smelled this sweet smell. And looked down and they saw these red berries. And they decided to taste these berries. Oh, they tasted so good and they were so sweet. So on the way back, after they had made up, they picked these berries and put them in a leather pouch. And when they got back, they fixed them to eat, and they were so good. And that's where strawberries came from. And usually they keep strawberries in the lodge in some sort of jam or just to eat raw, so that there's always peace and harmony and love. I'd like to say about that much. Doksha.